following program is a SUTV student production. The views expressed are not necessarily those of Salisbury University, the University System of Maryland, its regents, administration, officers, employees, or representatives.
On tonight's broadcast, we look at an unusual form of artwork that extends into our waterways. We'll see how these waterfowl decoys are locally handcrafted.
Also, we'll visit a local high school and see how their unified sports team opens the floor to all students for a chance in the spotlight.
And despite the campus closings last week, SGA still managed to hold Stop Hating Week. Maggie McBain is here to give us the inside scoop on all the week's events. This is SUTV News.
Good evening, and thank you for joining us tonight. I'm Taylor Rogers.
And I'm Miranda Haney. We begin our broadcast tonight with Stop Hating Week. Last week's events inspired students to bring down the hammer on prejudice and kickstart kindness on campus. Maggie McBain was at Open Mic Night on Wednesday and brings us that story.
SGA holds the second event of Stop Hating Week here in a Fireside Lounge at Salisbury University, where students can come to Open Mic Night and perform in front of their peers.
We have Stop Hating Week, which is all week long. Every night we have a different event. Last night we showed the movie Crash. At Open Mic Night tonight, we are actually going to have musical performers, maybe even have a couple dance groups sign up, as well as a couple of individuals, just tell stories about things that they may have experienced, maybe it's racially or somehow intertwining with diversity, pretty much. But they like to share to the Salisbury students and kind of group together as one group. The main idea, in right respects to a point, is kind of unifying the campus as a whole. We want to kind of break down the barriers of any type of separation or segregation between different cultures or whatever it may be. So we try and come up with different events that can kind of let everyone kind of open up to one another and get closer to one another.
This is Maggie McBain for SUTV News.
And Maggie is here on set to tell us more about Stop Hating Week. Hello, Maggie. Thanks for being with us.
Miranda?
Let's start off with, why did SGA hold this event?
SGA decided to do Stop Hating Week. I think this was the 5th annual Hating Week.
Okay.
And this was done to show kids what kind of prejudice that is really out there and trying to bring that down to the minimum at SU and try and bring that to the community.
Very cool. So what other events took place besides the Open Mic Night last week?
On Tuesday night, they had Crash, a movie that was played. Then they had the Open Mic Night. And Thursday, they had a multicultural food event where you could go.
I went to that.
Yep,
it was delicious.
A bunch of different ones.
It was awesome.
And then Friday, they had the board breaking event.
Very cool. So how did this event affect students all in all?
The board breaking event was just this amazing event where everyone got together and they had a giant board that was made out of drywall that everyone wrote a bunch of mean things that people heard about other people around campus, and then they took a sledgehammer and people could line up and they had everyone go and break the boards to symbolize them destroying everything.
Very cool. And I saw, actually, I peeked in for a little bit and I saw that they were doing this to Wrecking Ball by Miley Cyrus, and that made me laugh a little bit. So would you say this was the most inspiring event of the week?
This was definitely the most inspiring event.
It's poignant. It's very, very, very poignant. What you see there, if you put all those things together, sort of mesh them into one thing, you see a lack of equality. And we know without equality, there's no justice, and without justice, there's no peace in our world. So all of it is so poignant and so important, and for it to come out of the mouths and minds and hands of SU students right here in Salisbury is really, really exciting for me, and I'm very proud of it.
Thank you for being with us so much. It sounds like you had a great week, and it sounds like it really affected students positively. We hope to hear more from SGA in the coming weeks about other uplifting events like this one. Last week saw the beginning of the month of March, and thus Commuter Connections hosted its second seminar on managing your stress as a college student. Here's Aaron Cahill with that story tonight.
If you're looking to get the most out of your experience as a commuter at Salisbury University, Commuter Connections provides opportunities every week throughout the semester.
It helps them get involved, make friends, make connections, and that helps them to stay throughout the whole time. Because most commuters like to come for the first 2 years and they transfer. So we want to keep them here as much as possible to get them making those connections, making friends, and getting involved on campus activities.
Commuter Connections teaches you more than just how to get involved on campus. It also teaches you how to deal with stress. We spoke with Anissa Diab on how important it is to cope with stress, even with a tight schedule.
I think this is a really important topic. I think students are stressed so much just because they have so much going on with work and school, and especially if you're a new student. But everyone usually does have 5 minutes in their day to do something, even if that is just sitting in a chair, closing your eyes, and taking some deep breaths in and out. That can make a big difference in helping someone feel refreshed. Or going for a walk and practicing mindfulness, not going for a walk and thinking about the 10 million things they have to do that day, but going for a walk and just appreciating what's around them, being in that present moment.
According to a 2013 article from USA Today, 20% of young adults ages 18 to 33 experience extreme levels of stress. If you consider yourself amongst the statistic, take a few minutes out of your day to utilize these coping strategies. This is Aaron Cahill reporting for SUTV News.
Thanks, Aaron. And Anissa Diab wanted to emphasize that the Stand For You program meets the first Thursday of every month, so make sure to attend if you're interested.
Now Frank Howard brings us some information about a rather interesting art right here in Salisbury that's anything but foul.
Al Scrivo carves bird decoys, those fake wooden birds that hunters float on ponds to attract real fowl. Scrivo says decoy carving has become an art form that extends past those floating ducks.
There's 4 groups of birds. There's shorebirds, there's wildfowl, the birds of prey, and then the last one would be songbirds. And I enjoy doing all of them.
He competes in the Super Bowl of decoy carving held right here on the Eastern Shore, the Ward World Championship. He says the competition draws in artists, collectors, and visitors from all over the world.
And it was a very humbling experience because you're competing with the best carvers in the world, and it's a continuing learning process. You never stop learning.
But not every decoy is meant for a mantle. Hunters, like Chris Pusey, carve their own decoys to use.
Watching something you create float around and bring in the birds appeals to me more than the plastic decoys that are store-bought.
There's no name in decoy carving history that stands out more than the Ward brothers of Crisfield. Lemuel and Stephen Ward created thousands of decorative and functional decoy carvings for over 5 decades.
And it's a hard art to get into, as most artwork is. I'd love to see more younger carvers coming into it.
Ward brothers decoys sell for upwards of $8,000 today. In Salisbury, I'm Frank Howard reporting.
Thanks, Frank. We're going to take a short break, but when we return, we'll have an update in sports. Stay tuned.
Welcome back to SUTV Evening News. Business students from all around the world participate in Ethics Week, in which they took the time to evaluate the ethical decisions they make every day. We caught up with one student who briefly described all the week's events.
Ethics Week is it's actually a national event. All the business schools around the country are doing Ethics Week. We had a scavenger hunt within the Purdue school where they were looking for a bobblehead of Frank Purdue that was hidden somewhere in the school. And today we are having kids sign the I Am Purdue Ethical Pledge. It's the way that we look at ethics in the Purdue school, and it's just to promote ethical behavior among business students now, so that when they're out in the real world as professionals, they have an ethical background and an ethical foundation that they can use.
Residents of the city of Del Mar were notified of a degreasing agent known as tetrachloroethene detected at extremely low levels in the local water supply well. The EPA stated that the levels do not currently pose a health risk, but they do warrant an investigation. Officials have undergone tests of 2 municipal wells and 5 residential wells in order to find the source of the chemical. The agency plans to have a full report of the tests in June.
Yesterday, the National Film Festival Luna Fest strutted into Holloway Hall Auditorium. The festival featured films by, for, and about women. It featured only a day after National Women's Appreciation Day, and all proceeds of the event benefited the Life Crisis Center and the National Breast Cancer Fund.
And now Amanda Newman brings us what's new in Seagull sports.
The baseball team had a doubleheader against Frostburg on Saturday and won both games, taking the first one 4-3 and the second game 19-4. Junior Dan Fine pitched 8 innings in the first game. In the second game, the Seagulls had 12 hitters on the plate, scoring 8 runs and giving them an 11-0 lead at the bottom of the third inning. Today they hosted Shenandoah University and beat them 5-1. Tomorrow they will travel to St. Mary's University. The first pitch is set to begin at 3:30. Men's lacrosse had a 13-7 victory over Ohio Wesleyan yesterday. Junior midfielder Sean Fitzgerald led the team with 4 goals. Junior goalie Alex Taylor improved his record to 6-0 after having 11 saves. He is now number 6 on all-time saves list with 437 saves, passing former Seagull Mike Spar. Salisbury will be hosting Frostburg in their first CAC game of the season next Saturday at 1 p.m. The number 1 women's lacrosse team improved their winning streak to 27 straight games after beating Washington and Lee University 11-9. Shelby Nemechek recorded a hat trick in the game and leads the team with 12 goals, scoring 3 times in each game this season. The Seagulls will travel to number 9 York College this Saturday. The opening face-off is set to take place at 12 p.m. Softball improved their record to 10-0 after winning all 6 of their games in the Seagull Classic Tournament. On Friday, they beat Rutgers 10-0 in 5 innings. Junior pitcher Rachel Johnson and freshman pitcher Ashley Lewinsky recorded a no-hitter, the 40th in program history, and then they won 7-1 against Rutgers. In Saturday's game, the Seagulls beat Wykes College 12-0 in 5 innings, followed by a 9-1 victory that ended in 5 innings as well. In yesterday's competition, Salisbury beat Lynchburg 2-0 and ended their second game in 5 innings with an 11-3 victory. Next weekend, the Seagulls will be hosting the Salisbury Invitational, playing against New Paltz State and Capital. Now back to Taylor and Miranda.
Thanks, Amanda. Speaking of sports, James Bennett High School is offering a new kind of athletic training that caters to students with disabilities. Jared Power brings us a story tonight.
In the spirit of the Special Olympics, local high schools are offering sports teams where students with and without intellectual disabilities compete together. They are called Unified Sports, and Chris MG coaches the teams at James M. Bennett High School. He says the impact of the Unified Sports runs much deeper than the competition.
As competitive as it is, everybody's a winner. And when you put them in this setting, in a weight room, everybody's equal.
James M. Bennett High School and other schools in the county field teams in bocce, running, and powerlifting. Abbas Ali, known as a partner, is a traditional student who helps train the special needs athletes.
It's a great way to, become friends with them. You can see how happy they are while doing it. I don't want them to feel like they're, disadvantaged to do like regular sports or whatnot. So, this is a great way to, make them fit, happy.
To spread the word about Unified Sports, ESPN and the Walt Disney Company are investing several $1 million to register 1 million players, teammates, and coaches around the nation for Unified Sports teams by 2015. Coach MG says seeing the students working together doesn't just promote friendship, it promotes understanding in and out of the gym.
The high fives that occur in the weight room on a daily basis, you see those in the classroom too. You see those in the hallway between classes, and it has unified us. So I would say Unified Sports is doing its job.
MG Squad will compete in meets all spring against schools across Wicomico County. In Salisbury, I'm Jared Pawar reporting.
Gee whiz, Taylor, I think it's really great how something as simple as weightlifting can unite a school like that. Well, around Maryland College, students are finding ways to be musical, sustainable, and safe. Sarah Thompson brings us your Campus Connection.
Tonight on Campus Connection, we will be focusing on a sustainability conference at University of Maryland, a music project at Frostburg State University, and crime rates at Towson University. We start off tonight with a new music project at Frostburg State University. Frostburg's Department of Mass Communications and students in the Department of Music Promotion and Production will produce a full-length CD featuring the musical talents of the FSU campus and the surrounding community as a part of their annual Mind Culture Music Project. Students in these classes will be available to record, mix, and master song submissions and help promote the artists who will be included in the CD. The final CD will be made available for purchase within the departments as well as at select retail establishments in the area. Towson University posted its lowest crime rate in 19 years this past year with only one instance of violent crime on campus and a combined 118 instances of Part 1 crime according to university statistics. The only violent crime that happened in the past year was a robbery. The university reports there were no homicides, rapes, or aggravated assaults on campus. Towson University Police Chief Bernie Gerst attributed the low rates to a number of different factors. Despite the low crime rates on campus, Gerst said considerable efforts go towards keeping students informed of crimes that occur off campus, where a large portion of the student population lives and socializes. And at the University of Maryland, students and professionals gathered in Baltimore for the Smart and Sustainable Campuses Conference organized by the university. The conference began on Sunday and ended this past Wednesday. There were 3 featured speakers, over 100 workshops and sessions, 2 tours, and countless opportunities to network with others at the conference. Toes, the creator of this conference, said she aimed to create an atmosphere unlike the average conference. No PowerPoints or overwhelming amounts of people, so the attendees could take a deeper look at sustainability issues. That's it for this week's Campus Connection. I'm Sarah Thompson. Back to you, Miranda and Taylor.
Thanks, Sarah. And if you're wondering if you'll be able to put away those winter jackets anytime soon, Alyssa Sweeney has your weather outlook.
Good evening, everyone. Today, as you can see, we had a little bit of a pop-up shower. Don't worry, it's just going to move right across our area, going to make it a clear night tonight, no precipitation. Our week ahead, we see winds from the south coming up, bring up nice warm air, but then we see towards the end of the week, the colder air comes in, making Thursday a little bit cooler, a temperature drop-off of 25 degrees. Our 36-hour looks like 42 tonight, and tomorrow we could reach a possibility of 70, but it's going to be gorgeous, great, nice and sunny. And then tomorrow night it's going to be a little bit more cloudy, 46, possibly reach into the high 50s. Our satellite image that we see right now, we see a trough building coming from the Central Pacific that's going to reach us in the middle of the week. That could bring in cooler temperatures. That's going to bring us that rain on Wednesday. Don't worry, it will clear out by the end of the week. So for tomorrow, we are under the high pressure system, so that's why tomorrow it's going to be a great day. Again, it's going to reach 70, it's going to be beautiful. But then we see on Wednesday, we're going to merge the high pressure and the low pressure system, which is going to result in some precipitation on Thursday and cooler temperatures, but also rain on Wednesday. As you can see, our 7-day week ahead, tomorrow is going to be great. Wednesday, rainy. Thursday, it's going to be a lot cooler than it's going to be than Tuesday and Wednesday. Going to be in the 40s, but then great weekend and a good start to our spring break.
Last Sunday, March 2nd, SOAP presented SU Idol. Students were able to listen to their peers belt it out and vote for who they thought should be the next SU Idol. Josh Mathis took the title at the end of the night, but competition was fierce. Tonight we bring you an exclusive listen of the voices that grace the walls of the Holloway Hall Auditorium.
Through the eyes of an angel, through the eyes of an angel, through the eyes of an angel. As I was walking down the street, when at the corner of my eye, saw a pretty little thing approaching me. She said, I've never seen a man who looks so all alone. Could you use a little company?
right. And Miranda, weren't you there for that event?
I was. It was a lot of fun. It was a lot of fun. I performed, but I wasn't the SU idol. But it's okay. It's okay. It's a good experience. Well, thank you for joining us tonight, and make sure to tune in again this Thursday at 7 for more of your local news.
From all of us here at SUTV Evening News, have a great night.